Okay, so this is another design that I'm going to show you. I'm going to start with my paper. I have my pencil, my marker, and my ruler. And this one I'm going to fold at a diagonal again. And when we're doing this on our final, we of course would be measuring everything out. But for this purpose, we're going to fold it and then fold it again just to kind of give you the idea of measuring out everything evenly. So that when you open it up, I have those diagonal lines that way. And I'm going to do the same thing. And again, of course, you can just hand draw these lines in, but this I found is a quick and easy way to get your paper as even as possible by folding it. And then I have these lines. And the reason you do this is because you really want to start with that kind of checkerboard pattern, but you want it to be on a diagonal, which is why we started with the triangle folds instead of just doing a straight checkerboard. I am drawing my lines in Sharpie so that you can see them. You of course can do this part with pencil, but remember, so much of what we're drawing will be erased. This will give you an idea, hopefully, of how to do these for practice before we start to measure our final one. So I have that there. I've drawn those diagonal lines. And now I'm going to draw my other diagonal lines. Again, from edge to edge. You want to get them as straight as possible, but it's okay if they don't always match up perfectly because this is practice. Now this is a more advanced one, but it is also one of the easiest ones, I think, once you get that hang of how to draw that pattern. Okay. So for this, again, you would draw this in pencil, but so that you can see it, I'm going to draw it with a marker. And that's very easy if you follow the same pattern. So I'm going to start here so you can see. And I'm going to draw a square like that. And then I'm going to come here, and my square is always going to be in this bottom right hand corner. That is very important that you remember that square is always in that bottom right hand corner. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay. And you can see how it goes off the edge. I'm just trying to keep those lines about the same. So then I come here, bottom right hand corner for each one. And because we're hand drawing these, they're not going to be perfect, but that is okay. And you want to do that in all of them. Bottom right hand corner, that square, it's about the same size. And I'm using the line above it as kind of my guide and the line to the side, so you can see how I'm trying to line them up so that they are about the same size. And again, once you get this, you'll be like, oh, that was so much easier. I find that it works if I just focus on that single step so that I don't overcomplicate it. I'm just drawing a square on the bottom right. Because once you get the pattern right, you've got it. See, that goes off the edge, and I know that goes off the edge because I'm following the pattern of that line and that line. I know the same for that too. So I use that line as my guide here, that line as my guide there, so I can draw that small square. in the bottom right of all of the triangles. So it looks like I missed one here. Okay. So now you have that part. Now take your marker or your pencil, however you're filling it in, and color in the small square that you just drew on each one. And this is where you really just have to focus on that single step and try not to look at the whole thing, because it'll start to mess with you. It'll visually confuse you. So all I'm doing is coloring in that bottom, that small square on the bottom right. Even rotating my paper a little so I'm focused on just that small square and not looking at the whole thing. So I don't want to distract myself from the small square. Okay, so I have taken this and I have colored in all of those small squares that I have. And you can see this is starting to radiate and pop just a little bit. Now, this task, again, you want to concentrate, but make it very simple. You're going to go from this point to that point and draw a line. You see? That point to that point and draw my line. So I'm connecting my corners to my points. Like so here, you know, that would be there. So you're connecting those points. Okay. Then here, here. See how it's like the square is pointing up and you're just connecting that line to the next one. And look at that. You have that so that it looks like that optical illusion of that space where it's going down into that space. Now you can leave it here, just like this, and be done. And it will look fantastic and be amazing. You could also take, if you wanted to go one step further, you could take a gray Sharpie or a pencil and do it lighter. And then you pick either the ones that are horizontal or the ones that are vertical. You don't do both. And you fill those in with the gray. And it'll create an even larger contrast. You could also do that in a color. Again, this step is completely optional. I wish I had a lighter gray so it wouldn't blend so much with the black. But again, since I'm doing the horizontal, I'm doing all of those that way. And this step is completely optional. I'm just following that pattern. And there you go. So now you have the same kind of feeling, but you've of this optical illusion, but you've added another layer of depth because you've added in another color or your value. Oops, look, I just realized I missed this one. Here we go. Boom.